You ready, Steve? Andy? Yeah! Bert? Well, all right, fellas. Let's go!
You're listening to CFRN, the Christian Financial Radio Network.
Today's broadcast is brought to you by Audible. Get a free audiobook download at www.audibletrial.com/CFRN. Over 85,000 titles. Choose from mystery, romance, religion, science, technology, business, New York Times bestsellers, even children's books. You name it, Audible has it. With 85,000 titles to choose from, you're sure to find the perfect audiobook for yourself or to give as a gift, and it's absolutely free. Just enter your browser to audibletrial.com/CFRN. That's audibletrial.com/CFRN. And become a part of the audiobook revolution by downloading your free audiobook today. audibletrial.com/CFRN.
Hey, trader, want to get rich quick? Well, good luck with that. If, on the other hand, you actually want to learn how to trade, the place to be is www.cfrn.net. Tune in Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern for our daily devotional, and then spend the next 3 hours learning how it's done for professional traders who actually trade for a living. That's www.cfrn.net. Every trading day from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern. CFRN, a community of believers who trade for a living.
Good afternoon, traders, and welcome back to the CFRN Emini Futures Cast. This is the daily broadcast of Indeterminate Length, where we discuss all things Emini, along with some really big ideas on the finer point of trading gold, bonds, crude, sugar, the euro, and even T-bills. Join us today from our studios in Boston, Mr. Michael Bork. From our trading desk in Chicago, Mr. Burton Schlichter. Now, to get things started, let's go to our host and founder in Studio A, overlooking South Mountain, America's largest city park. Here's Dwayne.
And good afternoon. Welcome back. Today is Friday, 19th day of July, 2019. Thanks so much for joining us, whoever you are, wherever you are. We're just glad to have you right here, right now. I don't have a chart up of the S&P 500 Emini Futures, but I can, and now I do, and so there it is. If you want to see the chart, go to our homepage at cfrn.net. On the right-hand side of the page, click the big microphone, follow the instructions. You'll be registered in about 30 seconds. And that will give you one-click access to the show each and every day. When you're out of the office, away from the desktop, just grab an internet-connected device, point it to youtube.com/CFRN/live. There you'll find us live in real time, a simulcast of the show as it unfolds, brought to you by the good folks at YouTube. Thanks, YouTube. All right, the chart we're looking at, S&P 500 Emini Futures. As you can see, price consolidated right here. Now, this began yesterday, about 3 in the afternoon. Price got up to this weekly trading zone at 2997/98, where we consolidated. Price then made a run at the zone overhead, 3011. Swing high was 3,950. So we missed that zone by 1.5 points. As I tell you, zones are an area, kind of like fibs. Yes, they both print an exact number on the chart, and we often become accustomed, or we easily become accustomed, to price turning right at the zone. Boom, boom, boom. But there are times when we'll come within a few ticks, or we'll overshoot it by a few ticks. So always remember, zones are an area, which is why most times when I issue an alert, a Logic 247 alert, the target will typically be 1 to 2 points shy of the zone that the market is headed to. Remember, price is always trying to get to a weekly trading zone. Don't ever forget that. Remember that zones are an area, and remember that price is always trying to get to a zone. Your job, should you choose to accept it, is to simply to determine which zone is price attempting to get to now in the S&P, or the Dow, or the Russell, or the NQ, or Crude, any of the markets that we publish weekly zones for. So after consolidating here at the zone, which is the most likely thing to happen, 3 things can happen: consolidation, rejection, second most likely, the slice, the least likely, but it does happen. This is what consolidation looks like right here. Don't have a rejection right in front of me, but I'll show you one during the course of the show. So after consolidation, price trying to get to a zone, always tries to get to the zone overhead, comes a little bit short. So we go from 98 up to 09, so we'll call it a 10-point move. From there, price then moves 10 points back to the zone, where again it consolidates, makes another run at the zone overhead, and once again comes up just a little bit short. This swing high was 3,875, so we're 2.25 points off of the actual zone. So from 98 up to 0875, it's a 10-point move. So 10 up, 10 down, 10 up, 10 down, 10 up, 10 down. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If you clock it as travel time, that's 60 points, which the market made available between the hours of 14:30 yesterday and where we are right now. Okay, price hit a zone, consolidated. This is a 30-minute candle. Sometimes you need to go to a smaller time frame, 10, 5, 15, to see the multiple candles so it really clicks that, okay, yeah, this is consolidation. But as you can see, with even the 30-minute candles, the consolidation in most cases is still quite obvious. Now, with everything I've told you and taught you, I'm sure you understand price right now is telling us that it wants to go where? To the zone overhead. All right. So if we were to do something like, oh, I don't know, we're at 3,000 now, so we'll go 3,003, 3,005, and trail it if you got the wind at your back. If you're not running into resistance, if there's no apparent reason on your chart to get out, don't get out. So there we go, radio freebie. Okay, let's look real quick at a daily chart. And now that all seemed really simple, elementary perhaps even. Hey, we had to work really hard, lots of blood, sweat, and tears to make things as simple as they are. Because anyone who's been around the markets any length of time, well, most things are confusing, convoluted, not to mention ungodly expensive. And so we decided to change all of those things. No confusion, no convolution, and affordable, right? If there's one thing a struggling new trader doesn't have, is usually excess cash, right? And so you've got to be careful where you spend that money. We try to make even that aspect attractive in that, and we just did it for the last 2 days. we invite you, the outsider, inside the inner circle, where we hand you our indicators with instructions on how to download them, how to put them on your chart. Then we teach you our methodology. Now, a standard free trial runs 5 days with us. So that's 5 days of using our indicators and learning our methodology. Why? So that at the end of 5 days, you're able to make an intelligent, well-informed decision as to whether or not what we do and how we do it is going to be right for you. You won't, and I say this not to boast, it's just a matter of fact, you won't find anything more economical, and you won't find anything that works any better. You may find things that are more complicated, more convoluted, and certainly more expensive. But Michael and I, and now Val, we've all worked very, very hard to ensure that what we bring to you is the very best that we have to offer. Simple by design. Now, let me show you a daily chart real quick right here. Last time we looked at a daily chart, we connected that swing high to that swing high and drug it across. At the time, price was probably right about here. And we said the shallowest possible retracement would be a return to the BBC, which we can see there. And of course, the other shallowest possible place would be a 24% fib. So we're going to draw from the low, most recent swing low on the daily chart, to the most recent swing high right there. That puts the 24% fib right there. Okay, so we got to the BBC where exactly what we anticipate, part of our narrative, the BBC holds more often than it doesn't. So even though we've not gotten to the 24% fib yet, we expect a bounce off the BBC, which we got. Now where are we? Well, we're up against a red and falling CFMA1. What does our narrative say happens now? Resistance. A red and falling CFMA1 always represents good resistance until it isn't. Just like the BBC represented good support until it isn't. So am I saying that we expect price to now travel from where it sits back to the BBC? That is, per our methodology, per our strategy, through the lens in which we see the market, and the mind in which we think that we use to think about markets, the answer is yes. That is the high probability thing to happen next. Does that mean it will happen? No. It doesn't. It's impossible to know with certainty what will happen next. God just did not create this universe that way. Maybe his next world, maybe his next universe, he may spin that out a little bit differently. But the one you and I occupy, he gave us the ability to remember the past. But he does not give us the ability to see the future. Anyone who tells you they know with certainty what is going to happen next, they may get it right a few times in a row. It might even start to look pretty impressive. But eventually, you'll see the chink in the armor because it's just not possible. Unfortunately, too many traders spend too much time and too much treasure chasing the unknowable. And where that usually leads is to no longer being a trader or no longer being someone who's even trying to learn how to trade, because you've come to the conclusion that it's rigged, it's impossible to be consistently positive in the markets. But that's just not true. When we lay down the idea that we can know the future, when we just accept, as heart-wrenching as it might be, when we just accept we can't know the future, now we can put our time and treasure and energy to work using something that understands that and is built upon knowing not what will happen next, but what the next high probability thing is. So can we take advantage of that? Certainly we can. Now, we just looked at a 30-minute chart where I laid out a potential move to the upside, 3003 to 3005. Okay, could that still happen inside of this? Yes, this is a daily candle. This thing will bop up and down all day long. Okay, so on a smaller time frame, do I see the potential for it to go to 3005? Because I know that it's trying, just the sheer fact that it's printing a green candle at a weekly trading zone right here, I know where it's trying to go. It may fail. If it does, nothing ventured, nothing gained. If this thing rolls over, we'll take it from about 29.88 down to around 29.82. So whatever opportunity the market hands us, whatever the market shows us the next high probability move is, we're going to participate. We don't fall in love with the position. We try very hard not to be biased, and it's difficult when you have all this different information just coming at you left and right all day long. You gotta keep it in neutral. No matter what you think should happen, or feel should happen, or all the guys on TV said's gonna happen, or should happen, just know that the market can and will do whatever it wants, and the only thing that drives the direction of the market is order flow. When there are more buy orders than sell orders, prices going up. More sell orders than buy orders, prices going down. Can you look at a DOM and get a rough idea of, who's on the bid, who's on the offer? The answer is yes. However, these numbers are ever changing. And any one of these people in this line here or in this line here, they can change their mind at the drop of a hat and do something drastically different. So, with all that said, let's go take a look at the numbers from around the world, cash markets, and then we'll go to Michael, get a recap of everything that happened in the live training room today. All right, let me see if I got this. Hang on. Still checking. Let me find. Hang on. All right. I'm going to let you guys hear that. I haven't even listened to this myself yet. But I'm going to let you listen to it. Because that's just how I roll. Hang on a second. Hopefully it's good. I think it's good. Let me kick out my audio up to the big screen, so you'll be able to hear it. One thing different about the Zoom webinar platform versus the GoTo is with the Zoom platform, you can hear computer audio. In other words, if we were using Zoom instead of GoTo, I could play this file right now and you would just hear it as it plays, from inside of the computer. Why GoTo? They'll probably fix that. Now that Zoom's doing it, they probably will. So, let's see. All right, I got that turned up. I got this turned up. And it may not sound that great playing it this way, but I want to hear it. So, and I want you to hear it. So let's see what we got. All right. What do I need to do? Do I need to download this thing? I probably do. Okay. All right. Here we go.
In a world where 9 out of 10 traders fail, blow up their accounts and ultimately disappear from the trading floor altogether, I have good news. In a land not so far away, 2 men and a lady are working around the clock to change the lives of
Pretty sure that wasn't supposed to happen.
It did sound good, though.
Yeah, it did. It did. Come on now.
I gotta give you that. It sounded good.
Yeah.
I love that I made the introductory credits.
I was hoping you like that.
And a woman.
Let's try it. All right, let's try it again.
In a world where 9 out of 10 traders fail, blow up their accounts and ultimately disappear from the trading floor altogether, I have good news. In a land not so far away, 2 men and a lady are working around the clock to change the lives of retail traders forever. I present the CFRN E-Mini Method. Not another gimmick, not another parlor trick. This is the truth about trading. This is your opportunity to step behind the curtain and see once and for all how markets really work. The passion of CFRN is to make sure no one with a true trader's heart is left behind. So convinced they alone hold the key to your future as a trader, they're going to give you their methodology, their E-Mini indicators, and 5 days of training for free. It doesn't get any better than this. Go right now, run don't walk, to eminitrainingschool.com and apply, or call 949-42-EMINI. Operators are standing by. Seating is limited. This offer will not, cannot last. You already know, trading's not easy. You're about to learn. It can be simple. Learn today how markets work, or blow up another account using methods that simply don't work. 949-42-EMINI, while you still have the time. Run don't walk to eminitrainingschool.com and apply right now. Remember, the truth shall set you free. CFRN, the truth about markets since 2005.
Yeah, we got to cut down the music level is a little too high. About the middle part, it takes the music up a notch too high, so I got to fix that. All right, well there you go. That was just outstanding. Anybody there?
Yeah, we're here.
Oh, okay.
We hear you.
All right. Okay. Well, with that, giddy up. Okay. All right. Currently in the U.S., the Dow currently up 71 points, Nasdaq up 12, S&P 500 up 3, and the Russell 2000 up 3.5. In the commodity basket, crude oil down 2 cents, trading 55.28 last. Gold down 79 cents, trading 14.27.30 last. In Asian markets, at the close, the Nikkei posted a gain of 420 points. That's 2%. The Shanghai gained 23, and the Hang Seng added 303 points, which is a gain of just over 1%. And in the European markets, at the close, the FTSE was up 15 points. DAX up 32. The CAC up 179. That gives us a green day in Asia, green day in the UK, and a green day here in the US of A. It's a big green Radio Friday. With that, let's go to Michael, get a recap of what happened in the live training room today. And then I'll be back. We'll talk to John. We'll take a look at some alerts, both Concierge and Logic. And, of course, we'll have answers to all your questions.
Okay. All right. Let me bring this page up. There we go.
There you go. It's all yours.
Okay, got it. clear my throat. Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Today's Friday, the 19th day of July, 2019. If you have not taken a free trial with us, go to the home page at CFRN.net. In the right-hand column, it says 5-day free trial, apply.cfrn.net. If you click on that, it will bring you to this page, where all we ask for on this page is your name, your email, and your phone number. You can tell us what your biggest trading challenge is, so once we do one-on-one training with you, we can tailor it to that, and hit the send button. Okay, just hit the send button. All right. Spreadsheet. Here we go. We had another green day today. As I said, today is the 19th day of July, 2019. And if you're going to read the spreadsheet, you can read all the CFTC risk disclosures down at the bottom. Today we made 12 ticks in the euro, 6 ticks in crude, and 5 ticks in gold. That put us at plus 185 on the morning session. Okay. Today it took 40 minutes and 10 trades to get to the goal for the day. At that point, we're up $125 a contract. And we took a total of 14 trades this morning. And we missed some trades this morning too. I'll go over that in just a minute. On the month now, we're at $1,755. That's over 14 days, averaging $125 per day. On the year now, we're at $16,302. That's over 127 days, averaging $128 per day. $128 per day. So we bumped it up a buck. Okay, here we go. Gold had a lot of movement today. Sadly, I missed this one. I just missed this one. And this took like a second to go from here to here. It was like 1 second. And I missed that. But we did have some people that got it. I was telling them about it. And it happened so fast that, while I was telling them, I didn't have a chance to put the trade on. Anyway, we started out here. Let's see. Start out here with a break even. Then we picked up 3 ticks right here. And another break even, another break even, another break even. But look at the entry points on these. It's right down here at the low. Okay. On all those moves. And that's what we want to get you to do. All right. Then we stopped out. That put us at -5. And then right here, we missed this short trade right here, which would have gotten us probably the goal for the day. Then right here, we picked up 4 ticks to put us at -1. And then we picked up 6 to put us at -5. Then it was moving around a lot, but we had to get a trend going. Okay, so there was one right here. You could have picked something up there just a little bit, and then it got sideways again. And over here, there was a shorting opportunity that I missed. It looks like I missed one here too. Yep, I did. I missed one here too. So I missed one there, I missed one there. And this one I was really sorry I missed because, we had one person in the room picked up 27 ticks on that. And, in this kind of move, when it happens really fast like that, it usually just ricochets and comes back up like a lot. But this one came down and it just went sideways here for about 5 seconds. 5 or 10 seconds. And so you had plenty of time to get your stop down. And those kind of trades are why I don't put targets on. So you can pick up 20 or 30 ticks if it's going to give it to you. All right. Then we had another break even right there. Missed another trade right here. And I believe that was the end of the morning session for us. Now, during the break, there was a shorting opportunity right there. Another one there and there. Then it turned around and started going the other direction, and there was a long opportunity here and here. And it's starting to set up a short right now. Okay, so there was a lot of opportunity on gold today. On the euro, we actually picked up 12 ticks on the euro on this one trade right here. And there were 2 other trade opportunities. This would have been a break even. This would have given you some profit. And since then, the euro's done nothing. Crude. You run, Crude. You run. Run back up. I'm looking for Crude to get back up to 58 and a half maybe. by next week, by this time next week. Okay, on the crude, we missed this first trade right here. We probably could have gotten the goal for the day on that one. We missed that. And we missed this over here, but I didn't want to take it until we were trending. We had to get up above this level. That's why I didn't do it. That's why it's now highlighted. But we missed the follow-up trade over here. That would have been probably a break even. Then in here on crude, what did we get? 2 ticks here, 4 ticks here. Puts it +6. And it turned to break. It got really choppy in here for a while. It finally started to break out of the chop and just gave this long trade right here. Okay, it's setting up another one right now. The ES, what do we do with the ES? 2 trades, 2 break evens. Let's go back and find them. There's one, there's the other one. Okay, so right here, toward the beginning of the session, we had a break even trade right here. It was a momentum short on the ES. Then, the slingshot was just keeping us out of the ES pretty much all morning. Here, we had another break even. And I didn't do anything in here because we had lower highs and higher lows. Okay, I wanted to establish a trend, and it didn't really establish a trend, well, the rest of the day. Well, the rest of the morning session, anyway. But it dropped right through the weekly trading zone. You see that? That's unusual. And then it zipped right back up through it. That is unusual. I wouldn't have touched this. There was a trade set up right here, right in here, but I still wouldn't have done that. So close to the zone. I don't like trading near the weekly trading zones. Okay, back to the other one. Here it is. Okay, if you're going to read the spreadsheet, you can read all the CFTC risk disclosures down at the bottom. Today is the 19th day of July, 2019. We made 12 ticks on the euro, 6 ticks on crude, 5 ticks on gold. That put us at +185. Today it took 40 minutes and 10 trades to get to the goal for the day. At that point, we're up $125 a contract, and we took a total of 14 trades this morning. On the month now, we're at $1,755. That's over 14 days, averaging $125 per day. On the year, we are at $16,302. That's over 127 days, averaging $128 per day. Okay, that is one contract, 2 hours per day, with a whole bunch of distractions. Things like that one trade that went, 30 ticks. That if I wasn't telling you about it, I'd put it on. But most of the time I can do both. But in that case, it was just really fast. And I'm glad that as I told you about it, people did it. And, we had one fellow this morning who said it was up almost $1,000. Just following along. Okay, if you have not taken a free trial with us and you want to take a free trial with us, go to the homepage at CFRN.net. And right here, it says 5-day free trial, apply.cfrn.net. Click on that, and it'll bring you to this page. On this page, all we ask for is your name, your email, and your phone number. And again, you can tell us about your biggest trading challenge so we can tailor the one-on-one training to you. Okay, hit that send button. And we'll get you all the information you need to get into the live trading room. Now, all the information from this week to get into the live trading room is changed. I just changed it, and so it's all new information for next week. Okay? All right. And that's it. With that, we can pass it back out to fabulous Phoenix, Arizona, overlooking South Mountain, America's largest city park. Dwayne, if you are ready. And John is not out there yet. Okay, well, while we wait for Dwayne to come back, he could be having audio issues because he's been battling with that for 2 weeks. There was just a shorting opportunity right here on gold. It gave a few ticks, enough to get the stock to break even. It probably would have been a break even trade or a small win. There was a momentum long over here that didn't give anything. That would have been a break even. And on the ES, we just broke dynamic resistance right here. And it's starting to pull back. We should get some trade opportunities over there. Okay, Crude needed to put in a higher swing right here, but it failed to. And that's that. Now Crude. Let's take a look at Crude. See, this is the big picture on Crude. Yesterday it was killing it. And then overnight it got killed. What we anticipate, well, actually yesterday it got killed. But what I anticipate is that Crude, let's look at it on a bigger time frame here, is that Crude is going to get back up here to the BBC by the end of next week. It'll get back up here, probably go through it a little bit by the end of next week. That's what I anticipate. And it's all set up for it here in the slingshot. Okay, so we'll just look forward to that. Okay. Okay. Gonna bump it back down to my world, and hopefully we'll get a move up here. And all right. Well, I'll just keep talking until Dwayne comes back. Right over here on the ES right now, we have a momentum long trade. Okay, now what that means is the entry is above the MA1. The MA1 is the red and blue line right here. Oh yeah, yeah, it's 1244. Okay. Yeah, no, and John's not out there, so. Yeah, but I was just going to say
Go ahead. Continue with whatever you're doing. No rush.
Okay, I was going to say the better entry here would have been the 137 trade. And for those of you guys who don't know what that is, send us a quick email at support@cfrn.net, and I'll send you a link to a whole bunch of videos and tell you all about it. You could enter it right here on the 137 to grab that long. Okay. All right. Now you can have it back. It was another 137 right here. Bang. Okay.
Okay. So you want me to grab it now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I was great. Had to reposition my fan.
Okay.
I got a new printer yesterday.
Mine got all jammed up yesterday. There's something wrong with it because every time I try to print something, it jams in the back. So I may need a new printer too.
Yeah, these missionaries were moving to some, I don't know, that they gave it to us. It's kind of a monster. It's a Brother laser printer, color printer. I mean, it's very nice, but it's not new. I think that technology right now would probably fit inside of a Kleenex box, but still, it's nice. I'll get some use out of it. Plus, it's a fax machine. Not that I can't remember the last time I faxed something, but and and it has the copy function, which is always good, and the scanner. So thanks to the nice folks who. Hang on, I gotta get this fan in a better spot, or I'm sweating.
Okay.
Okay, now I think I can live with that. Okay.
You got it?
I think so. All right, let me grab the charts.
Okay.
Recap of the recap.
Today, 40 minutes, and today it took 10 trades to get to $125 a contract. I got so many break-evens on gold.
That brings up a great point. I know that quite often when a new trader, they're working hard, trying to do the right thing, follow the blueprint, and they get stopped out a couple times in a row. They stop. It feels like the right thing to do. I better stop. Well, first you go crazy and end up with 100 trades for the day. It still didn't work out. So then the pendulum swings the other way. Get 2 stop outs. Oh, must be a bad day, blah, blah. So, be back tomorrow. It's what's really important to understand. Part of the 2420 blueprint says, well, the core of it is you want to reach your goal, which we've established as a corporate goal. It's the goal we teach. 2 points a day. Just using the S&P as an example, or 10 ticks in crude, whatever adds up to $100 based on one contract. But it's based on reaching your goal in 10 trades or less every day. So it doesn't embrace 3 trades and quit, or 4 trades and quit. And this is another reason it's very important that you get this down in SEM, because I understand when real money's on the line and you do get stopped out 2 or 3 times in a row, it can be difficult to step back up to the plate. But if you're in SEM, and we can't encourage you enough, you have to trade the SEM account exactly the way you're going to trade the live account. Almost without fail, when I talk to someone who's made the transition from SEM, doing well, to live, not doing so well, my first question is, what'd you change? What are you doing different? Well, nothing. So I keep probing, and I keep probing, and eventually it comes out. Some little thing that either a person thinks, well, that won't make a difference, or they feel that it's being even more conservative or being even more aggressive with risk management. So they try to notch their game up a bit by doing this, whatever it is, just a little bit differently. And I, again, can't stress enough, you put together 10 consecutive days in SEM where you reached your goal in 10 trades or less. When you go live, don't change anything. Don't change a thing, nothing. Don't, and all kinds of ideas will come because it's real money now. So the brain, our lizard brains start working overtime, to find that better way, somehow to put an edge on the edge. I've seen people put an edge on an edge and then try to put an edge on that and put an edge on that, and pretty soon you got no edge. It's vanished. That thing that you had that was working so well, you've now, one step at a time, you've just gotten so far away from the original premise that, well, we just have to start again, right? And put our 10 days together in a row in SEM. Now, the math, it just seems like if it took you 10 trades to reach a goal of $100 per contract, well, that's just stupid. There's no money in that. But there is. Round turn on the S&P with Daniel's Trading, and that's who we use. You don't have to use Daniel's Trading. We do recommend them for a long laundry list of reasons, not because we get a commission if you open an account with them, and we don't get a split of commissions if you trade with them. We recommend them because we really do think they're the best in the business. Are there places that give you cheaper commissions? Yeah. And the service you get is cheaper. You're not going to get the quality of service that Daniel's Trading, and specifically Bert, provides for some discount price of $2, $3. Now, you may be at a point in your trading career where you don't need nobody's help, right? You don't need a broker kind of watching over you. You know, when you do something that's blatantly off course, they bring it to your attention, or even sit with you in a live training room to help you understand what the setups look like, or train you on a Thursday afternoon. All that's going to go away with the $2 and $3 commission. So you ultimately decide what's right for you. Our indicators methodology works just fine. A Ninja Trader. We got anything else cooking right now, Michael, that it works on?
Oh yeah, we have, well, it's DT Pro, Apex Trader, Zaner 360, Stage 5, Global Zen Trader, multicharts.net. Anything that clears through gain capital, we should be able to put it on. Okay, and I'm sure I probably missed a few brokerages or IBs, but yeah, it works in a bunch of different places.
I ran across one of those trash talking forums the other day, where somebody who obviously didn't know what he's talking about. Oh yeah, those guys make you use Daniel's Trading. That's the only way you can do business with. Well, that's just not true. We've never even suggested that be true. We've always made it obvious that, you know, you have a number of options available to you. I'm sorry that it doesn't work on your Thinkorswim or whatever other platform that you like. There may come a day when, in fact, you'll find our indicators on Thinkorswim. No promises, no deadline, none of that, but it could happen. The reason I, in particular, like DT Pro, and Michael can give you his own reasons, but my reason is just the simplicity of it. Ninja Trader is a very sophisticated piece of trading software. Their bells and whistles have their own bells and whistles. I mean, there's a lot there, okay? Our methodology, what we teach, doesn't require or utilize any of those bells and whistles. What we do is, again, simple by design. And so for a brand new person who is maybe looking at a trading platform, you know, for the first time, or maybe you've had a couple demos on some other platforms, but if you're trying to learn how to use the platform, how to execute the trades, and learn a trading methodology and an indicator set at the same time, well, it's basic, it's simple, it's got everything that we need. And I say it's simple out of the utmost respect, because simple usually isn't easy. Again, Michael and I, a lot of hard work went into making what we do as simple as it is, considering that what we do is fluid across all markets and all time frames. It's difficult to find that, if you can find it, but that is, in fact, what we offer. So back to the 10 trades. It took Michael 10 trades today. Well, if 580 is the round turn on the S&P, is that still right, Michael, 580?
With Bert.
Yeah, I haven't looked in a long time. Okay, so with us, with the birds, get to 580. So if it takes you 10 trades to gross $100, now that's not net. I'm talking gross. I just made the whole thing sound even more outlandish. What? $100 gross? Yeah. If you take $100 and you subtract your commissions, that's of $58. 100 minus 58 is $42. So the broker made more than you did on that day. That's okay. God bless them. That doesn't bother me at all, because I know now. No, and I talked about this the other day, of that $58 that you spend on commissions. It's not all going in Bert's pocket if he's your broker. There's a whole line of people you know, at Daniel's Trading or whatever outfit you trade with, everybody's got to get paid. So does the actual broker himself get a piece of that? Well, yeah, that's how they make their living. And so the piece of that slice that goes, you know, to Bert, I feel really good about that, because I know he's a good man. He's has integrity. He's a father. I just, if I can put money on somebody else's table who has similar beliefs as I do and kind of sees the world through, you know, the same lens, I just feel real good about that. You know, you're going to have to pay somebody, whether you're paying a $2 or $3 discount commission or you're paying a little bit more. I like knowing where my money goes. So you have to decide. So back to the 10 trades. Okay. So if it takes you 10 trades to reach your $100 per day gross goal, that leaves you with 42 bucks. Now, part of the blueprint says you stay with that one contract when you go live until you increase your account balance by $2,000. So let's take 2,000, divide that by your net profit of $42. 2,000 divided by 42. It's going to take you 47.6 trading days to increase your account balance by $2,000. You're probably thinking, if you're new, if you're not new, then you know, but someone who's new, they would just go, well, man, if it takes you 10 trades, you know, to make $100 gross, by the time you pay, you know, there's nothing left over. You're probably going in the hole. No, you will actually increase your account balance by the $2,000 requirement of the blueprint in 47.6 trading days, at which point you get to add a second contract. Okay, well, that bumps you up to $84 a day. 42 times 2 contracts, 84 bucks a day. When you add the second contract, you are paying for that. It's underwritten by actual profit you made in the market. And the day you add your second contract, that should be a day of great celebration in your life. Don't get carried away, but it should be a big deal, because what you've done is you've gone from being someone who always gets stopped out to the tick, or who is subject to boom and bust trading and then all the other stuff that as traders, you know, we run into. You've actually established a method for trading the markets that is built on logic, not some voodoo, you know, magic of some kind, some parlor trick, sleight of hand. You've established a method for trading the market that is repeatable. I can't stress that enough. If you use the same recipe every day, then the results that you get are repeatable. That's a big thing. And the fact that you're now trading with profit you earned in the market is huge. That first contract that you go live with, now that money has to come from somewhere, whether it's under the mattress or in the cookie jar. Wherever you come up with it, that's just your business, right? But by the time you hit 2 contracts, now you're not trading with the market's money. Please don't say that around me, because I'll just go berserk. I don't like that terminology, and I probably won't go berserk, but I will talk to you about it, because if you earned it, it's your money. It's, I mean, you go to work every week, you put in 5 days, whatever, and you get your paycheck at the end of the week. You know, hey honey, I got $900 of the company's money. No, you worked. There was an exchange of your time and your labor for their treasure. It's a fair exchange. Once the exchange takes place, it's now your treasure, not the market's treasure. If you continue to think of it as the market's money, well, guess where it's going to end up? It's going to end up in the market's pocket. So we have to change our way of thinking. If we can change the way we think, we can change the way we trade. And if we can change the way we trade, we can literally change our lives. All of the things that we dreamed of and envisioned when we first laid eyes on these charts and these markets, for most traders, 2-3 weeks to 2 to 3 months into it, that vision of sugar plums dancing in your head has evaporated because you've been stopped out, beat up, lied to, ripped off, stuff. All the stuff that happens. This industry is fraught with people who have more interest in your money than in you. Now, do we earn a living teaching, sharing our methodology and our indicators? Yes, a good living, okay? If you go read any of the books written by the uber wealthy, from Rockefeller to Trump, there's always going to be a section in there, a very important section, that talks about multiple income streams. That is one of the important pillars of creating wealth. I'm not talking about making a paycheck. I'm talking about creating wealth. Multiple streams of income. Now, if you can create additional streams that are based upon knowledge you already have. Let's say I wanted to, as my second stream of income, I want to open a Dairy Queen. I don't know a lot about running a Dairy Queen. I could learn. I'm sure they've got manuals. It would take up an awful lot of time, not to mention the cash outlay for the franchise or however all that works. But if I can take something that I already know and understand fully, and then I can just pivot and all of a sudden generate a second income stream, continuing to do what I already do, wow, that's pretty marvelous. I mean, you can do that pivot a number of times. A trader can become a teacher, can write a book. Yeah, some of you know there's a book coming in the spring. I'm looking forward to it. I hope you are as well. If you've not signed up to reserve a copy, well, you really should. And let me show you exactly how you do that. You just go to Emini Trading Book.com. There you have it. Trading in the Spirit, coming spring of 2020. There's a fresh wind blowing down Wall Street, a fire stirring in the hearts of men. Prepare for the adventure. 50% of net proceeds do go to New Hope Orphanage. And if you click there, it'll take you over to the babylost.org website. And if you haven't been there, you should. Just because the intro I created, well, I don't want to spoil it for you. But you'll check it out as you have time. And then down here, you can request a complimentary mentoring session if you're not already a Passport holder. Passport holders have unlimited access to one-on-one mentoring with either myself or Michael. You can also reserve your copy of Trading in the Spirit. And down here, if I could grant you one trading wish, think big, what would you wish for? You and I are going to take your answer to that question, and we're going to do something quite marvelous. So please, avail yourself, answer the question, and I'll be in touch. If I can help you find the peace and prosperity you seek, I will. Now, will I make money from trading? Yes. Will I make money from teaching? Yes. And do I hope I make a profit from the sale of the book? Yes. For me and for the kids. Okay? So I've taken one thing and I've split it into, well, it's already split into two streams of income. Here comes the third, and some of you might have heard about this thing we call the swing trader, the CFRN swing trader, right? Standalone product. Our last swing trade was on the NQ, number 5 of the beta test. So 79.44. We take profit down here at 78.70, 78.50. No, final target 78.50. Don't know how that happened. 78.50. Misprint. 74 points at $20 per point. Worked out to be $1,480 per contract traded. And all you had to do was get in here, put your stop loss here, and wait for price to get here. If you've already graduated to or earned the right to be a 10 contract trader, well, you can do the math. That is almost $15,000 for the 10 contract trader. Can the NQ really support that kind of volume? I mean, we are talking 10 contracts after all. Well, let's look at it on a daily chart just for a second. We'll go NQ and we'll put this on daily. I'm just doing this for the volume. So far today, 284,859 contracts. Now, I'm going to drop it back to hourly so that we can take a look at this. Now, often we get the question, what time of day is best for trading particular markets? Well, it's always going to be when there is ample volume to support the trade. Now, these little tiny candles here, it looks like, oh, nothing was going on, but actually there was. Let's go back to last night at 6 p.m. Globex open. Okay, the first hourly candle, there was almost 10,000 contracts traded. And then if we go to the next hour, as we get into the Asian session, 4,000 contracts traded, 4,170 in that hour, 4,500, 4,200, and that's, maybe this is the tiniest one right here, 3,000. So I don't see an hour in this session, which began last night at 6 p.m. Eastern, I don't see an hour where there was less than 3,000 contracts traded. And then, of course, as we head into the Wall Street Open, you can see those little bars get bigger. There's 5,600, 7,800, 8,300, 9,300. And then on this candle, which is, I can get my pop-ups out of the way, the 9 o'clock candle, this was the 9 to 10, okay, we had 56,000, all right, so going back here, this triggered at 10 a.m., 10:30 a.m. on the 17th. So let's go to 10 a.m. on the 17th. This candle right here. So the hour that the trade triggered, there was 54,000 contracts traded in that hour. So point is yeah, there's sufficient volume. I always try to take those kinds of things into consideration Now, you can do this, of course, with any of the markets that we trade. This is in Q set on an hour. Remember, you're just looking at these volume bars. So if we jump over to Crude, for instance, and we did roll to the U contract. My apology last night on the Concierge. Valerie had notified me yesterday, but when it came time to do the Concierge Trade Alerts, I forgot. And I forgot again this morning when I did the daily double. I did correct the daily double, but the Concierge I did not get corrected. So, all right, Crude. So let's go to a small candle here, which is 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon, 6,000 in that hour. 5,000 in that hour. And then this little bitty one right here, still 4,000. Okay. Now let me show you one where that doesn't really hold true to the same degree. Let's go to the Russell. Okay, the Russell started getting quiet at 6 o'clock last night. Globex open. The opening hour, 1,800 contracts. Now let's jump over to midnight. Only 221 contracts traded in that hour. It's still possible to trade 10 contracts during that period of time. Yeah, I mean, you got it, and there's 796 in that hour. And it really doesn't pick up much until 9 o'clock. And really what this is reflecting, if I dropped it to 30 minutes, you'd see that the bump really comes at the 9:30 Wall Street open. So there's 9,2400. And then from 9:30 to 10, from 9:30 a.m. to 10 a.m. Eastern, there was 14,597 contracts traded. Does anyone have a particular market that you want me to look at to see what kind of volume there is? Ken, I'm not sure if that comment was to Michael or to me, but
No, it was way back in the beginning.
Okay.
When you played the thing that you made.
Oh, okay. All right, thanks. Oh, that reminds me. Hey, Valerie, you still there?
I am.
If you could, please, find us a short video clip, an apocalyptic type of video clip where people are running in the streets. Maybe there's a woman shrieking. I don't know. No, you don't have to have any sound. Just video. You know, there's fire, brimstone, skyscrapers are tumbling. You know, just something real dramatic. And then we'll just pop that audio right on top of that. And we'll have a commercial ready to go to market. So.
Okay,
All
terrific.
right, beautiful. 2 men and a lady. Yeah, that's got legs. That could run. Okay, what do we have? Swing high here. 3,003 on the money. Look at that. Now, we were looking for 3,003 to 3,005. Did it appear that the market was trying to get to the zone overhead? It certainly did. Is it doing that now? It's not. It's pulling back to find out if this is going to be good support. Now, at 3,003, okay, at that price point, some people got filled and some people didn't. Whenever that happens, whenever we run up to a number to the tick with the logic 247, we know some people got filled and some people didn't. But we always assume that we did, no matter what really happened, okay? Even if we didn't get filled, we're going to post it as a stop out if this thing draws back, you know, to the point where it would, in fact, stop you out. Because there's no way I can know who got stopped out and who got filled, who didn't get filled. So we're always going to do the right thing, the conservative thing, and we're just going to call it a stop out and just move on to the next trade. So is this over? Is it done with? Nah, you know, where's the drawdown? 29.99. So it's, if you were filled at that 3,003, it's a 4-point drawdown right now. Okay. Well, this is 3,003 to 3,005. Well, that's 2 points. Now, it also says trail if possible. Okay. So if you hit 3,000 and you get jumped in, you have to ask yourself, the premise of the trade, does it still exist? It does. What's the distance from 3,000 to the zone overhead? Remember, the premise of the trade is that price is trying to get back to the zone overhead. So the distance from 3003 to 3011, or being conservative, you might use 3009. Okay, so from 3003 to 3009, there's 6 points of potential in this trade. Your stop loss, as we teach you to set your stop loss in the discretionary trading. Now remember, when you're learning our methodology in the live training room, you don't have to think about the stop. You got to use it, but you don't have to think about it, because we use an 8-tick hard stop on everything. That's just to make sure you get in the habit of always using a hard stop. Okay? It's got to be second nature. If you're having a mental discussion or argument with yourself every time it comes around to addressing, the stop loss, you've missed the boat. It's just got to be a reflex. It's not a question anymore. You've accepted that you must always have a hard stop. So to keep it simple, live training room, 8-tick hard stop. Here's different. We teach all of our traders a 3-step methodology for establishing the stop loss. Okay? We're going to look at one chart, and if we cannot find market structure that supports an entry and a stop loss on that chart, we go to a second chart, we check that one, and then we have a third and final chart that we'll go to and check. If none of those give us an opportunity to put on this trade using the risk parameters that we've already determined, and on a discretionary type trade such as this, we don't want to risk more than $300 per contract traded. So in the S&P, that's 6 points. I was talking to someone yesterday who had fallen into the habit of just using a 6-point stop on every alert. Well, I mean, you can certainly do that, but if you will follow the process and look at the 3 charts, quite often, most often, you'll be able to find an entry that maybe doesn't eat up 6 points. We want to spend the least amount we have to find out if there is any validity to the trade setup that we're addressing right now. Okay? So, that's an explanation. If you want more explanation, if you need some help establishing your stop loss, if you're a passport holder, start by making sure you have the 2 videos from Valerie. Watch those. Take notes as you watch them, if you haven't watched them yet. And then book a mentoring session. And I'll be happy to spend, each mentoring session's 45 minutes. I don't want it to run more than that, because the human mind can only absorb and retain so much at one time. So at the end of 45 minutes, you'll take what we've covered, you'll put that to work, put it in action for a couple days, get comfortable with it, and then book another session. As a passport holder, you have unlimited access to one-on-one mentoring with both Michael and I. A lot of new traders will visit with me a couple times a week in the beginning. Over time, it probably drops to once a week, then maybe once every 2 weeks, until it's been a while since I've heard from them, right? And I always assume you're doing just fine, because if you're not doing just fine, you should be booking a mentoring session. We should be troubleshooting, and if you're not having success with our methodology, there's something along the way that we didn't explain properly, or you didn't quite understand, or you didn't catch that part. And the only way for us to determine what the hitch in the giddy up is to get into a session. We use GoToMeeting so that we can both talk. We don't have to type. We can just have a conversation because we're the only two people there. When we have a room full of people, you can't have all the mics open because it creates too much background noise. But in the mentoring sessions, you can see my charts. And if you want to show me something on your chart, then we can flip it around so that I can see your chart. But what we do is we take the trades that you've put on over the last few days, because you've kept a good log, a good journal, so you can say, hey, on the S&P on the 18th at 8:15 a.m. Eastern, I went long at this price and then this happened. So I'll go right to that spot on my chart. I need the market, I need the day, I need the time, and I just need to know what you were trying to do. Go short, go long, and we'll dissect it. If there's something obvious that you missed or didn't see or think about or take into account, we'll cover that. Maybe that you did everything exactly as you were supposed to. You did what you were supposed to do, when you were supposed to do it. That's what rules-based trading is all about. You simply have to learn what to do and when to do it, and then you have to do what you're supposed to do when you're supposed to do it. Rules-based trading. So if no rules were violated, if you did everything as you should have done, then we talk about the market. We stop talking about you and we talk about the market. So we look at a chart. This might require going to a larger time frame, whatever it takes, and we'll find out if the market was in fact telling us that right now is not really conducive to trading. I say that price is always trying to get to a weekly trading zone, either the one overhead or the one below. Sometimes the market will go into a period of, we call it sideways trading, but that's the market looking for direction. It hasn't yet made up its mind what its objective is, what it really wants to try and do. Coming off this green candle, certainly looked like the market was trying to get to the zone overhead. Have I given up on that thought or that idea? Not at all. Well, what would change that? Obviously, if this zone below doesn't hold as good support, well then we have a stopped out trade. If it does hold and price starts to move higher, as we take out this swing high, those who trade multiple contracts, as opposed to shedding, you might even consider adding. Now that's not something I normally talk about here on the radio, but it is something I'll go over with you in mentoring sessions if you have graduated to the live market and if you are now trading multiple contracts. Okay? All right. You signed to John yet?
Yes, he's in.
Yeah,
Okay.
I texted you a minute ago.
Oh, sorry, I missed that.
I messaged you.
John, you called 3 times. I had my ringer off. I'm very sorry.
No, it's okay. It's okay. Look, I didn't know whether you could hear me or not, so I wasn't trying to harass you or anything because I know you were doing something.
No. I just had my ringer off, but thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah. I just mentioned, boy, I tell you what, IBM was a hell of a buy yesterday when I pointed it out. It basically went from 142.20 or so. It sometimes, they came out with good results, and sometimes the market doesn't get the memo till the next day. And it looks like it made up for it because it's literally gone up about $9
Look at
since
that,
yesterday, which is pretty amazing. And the other one was when we were looking at Royal Gold yesterday. It was at about 100, and I can't remember, it was about 115. It's about 118 this morning. They hit 118 and a half. I think the gold stocks are backing off a bit right here, because the gold probably got a lift last night. We hit a new high. We got up to 1450, and the silver got up to 1660. But it's pulled back pretty dramatically today. So I think this is a little bit of probably went a little bit too far, too fast. And you know, what was speak of the devil? We were talking about the lumber yesterday. Every time I kind of mention it, the market reverses. It's on limit up today. I don't know what's happened with the limits, because it used to be 15 and it's up 19 right now. So it looks like it's locked limit up.
What's locked limit up, John?
The lumber.
Trading limits on lumber. Let's see what we got. Price limit update, CME Group. Check daily price limits. Let's go to. I'm sorry, John. What market did you say?
Sorry, lumber. If it is, it'll be about 2,800. 20.
I wonder why I don't have. Is lumber traded through the CME?
Yeah.
Okay, because I don't have that as a category here.
Or it might be on that ICE exchange. I don't know. They might have changed. There's a possibility. It used to be on the CME. The other thing that happened today is quite notable, is that the grains really took off. And remember, we did say be looking to buy dips on grains, and the orange juice also hit us. It's been a bit volatile the last few days, but it's up towards a new high. It's hitting a new high for the week, I think, lumber. And even the cotton turned up as well. So quite an interesting day all around. Boy, the wheat is up 12. That's a big deal too.
All right, lumber futures. Contract size, description, tick size, daily price limit. $10.
I think that's out of date. Well, all I can tell you is we're up 19 right now, and
well, this is on the Daniels Trading website, John. So I think, let's see. So it's 10 cent per MBF, or $11. No, I'm sorry, $10 per MBF.
Even under November, it's showing November is 19 limit. It's up to limit as well.
So here we go.
By the way, this is a risky deal. I'm just about to tell you, but it's kind of hard for people to buy things when they're limit up until you understand what you're really doing. And most of the time, well, the question is, look, if you were short lumber right now, would you cover? Or would you say, oh, well, I'll see what happens tomorrow, right? If you've got 19 points against you, you could have another 19 points against you tomorrow, and the next day, and the next day, and the next day. That's what happens when you get multiple limit up moves. So, the best thing to do is to bite the bullet in these situations, because on the other side of the coin, look, when a stock closes limit, or when a future closes limit up, there's virtually a 97% probability that's going to go higher the next day. Sometimes they can open a bit lower, but they're almost inevitably going to trade higher. Sometimes they're going to trade a lot higher, and very often they're going to trade at least 10 to 50% of the previous day. So in a way, limit moves are kind of no risk moves, as much as no risk can be, kind of defined. There's always risk of the thing. Occasionally you could open up, limit down, as happened before. But it is, look, when the whole world is, why is the market limit up? Because there's more buy orders than sells, and there's no execution. Occasionally you can get some trading at the price where it is right now, 353. So, you could, I mean, look, if you buy it today, you're probably probably a weekly reversal of some consequence here. There's obviously something pretty big that turned lumber around from being down a couple of days ago to being up this much today.
Here's a weekly chart, John.
Yeah. So, I mean, look, we were saying it looked pretty horrible yesterday, but this is why you have to be on your toes all the time.
But this looks like good support here. We're into support.
And look, the fact that that's what I call a 1.5 or a 1 2/3 type bottom. In other words, we came off the bottom in June, we ran up pretty sharply, we pulled back about 2/3, and now the market could really go up big, because it is a pretty strong daily reversal, and probably going to look reasonably okay on a weekly chart as well. But the thing is, if it just keeps going from here, it's kind of like what happened at the bottom of the gold. You know, it's very hard to see $200 move ahead of time. You know, when you're down at the lows of the gold like we were a couple of months ago. And you know, there's certain things you have to do, and basically when the trend changes, if you've got a good trend change indicator, you got to go with the trend. Look at this Royal Gold. I mean, I actually said, you know, I said, you know, quite a while ago, we were in upward running correction, and more often than not, 9 times out of 10, it's going to spike higher. And if you look on the chart, it spiked higher. You know, it had a $4 or $5 move from a couple of days ago to where we are today. But sometimes when that spike comes, it's probably gone too far. Obviously, this drone issue may have caused the gold to go as high as it did. The silver, I mean, look, you know, there's going to be a pullback. We don't know to what extent. We're down through $2.50 right now. They probably, you know, it could be manipulation. They're probably setting it up to take the market down Sunday night, Monday, you know, but we might have a turnaround by Tuesday. So that's what I'd be looking for, you know, in the metals here. And if it turns up sharply before the day's out today and goes back positive, I'd probably be inclined to go long over the weekend just in case, you know. So the rest of the market, you know, it's weird. The transports got hammered yesterday. They're back up today.
Right.
Quite a bit. FedEx must have reported well. Boeing, which we said the bottom was in quite a while ago, is really starting to move strongly now. So it looks like the worst is over for Boeing. And, you know, credit to Boeing, there's like tens of thousands of Boeing jets flying every day without incidents. So, you know, while the 737 MAX was a horrible thing to happen, you know,
yes.
A lot of times when I mean, you know, things happen most of the time, really bad. A lot of air crashes happen because of several events compounding. You know, there's not always one thing that goes wrong. It's usually several things, and people get what's the word? You know, they get kind of complacent, and then there's a crash, and everybody, you know, every pilot in the world, as soon as there's a crash, they start being more careful. You know, and so there's always, you know, a lot of times after a couple of crashes, there's a period of you know, quite a long period sometimes when there's no events. So I think, you know, this crash has probably made, or these two crashes have probably made Boeing a lot better company, because everybody's tightened their game, and they're you know, they've got to you know, up their game. Frankly, they've got a huge competitor in Airbus, and they've got a lot of you know, emerging competitors in Brazil and Canada and in China now, and Russia. So they have to, you know, they got to keep their edge. Because, I mean, listen, let's face it, the aerospace industry is like, you know, the #1 business in the U.S., really. And if that went down the tubes, we'd all be in trouble, you know. Right. So, and look, you know, it's funny because I was watching the Tour de France over the last few days, and they were in Toulouse yesterday, which is a formidable city. And that's where the most of Airbus operations are. And, you know, I mean, Airbus is just a monumental story. I mean, the way they came out of nowhere, put this amazing company together, which is, you know, 4 or 5 different nations, or possibly even a lot more, and make these incredible planes like the, you know, the 380. I mean, the 380 is just, it's like a flying, you know, it's an absolutely staggering airplane. There's no other word to describe it. It's just, it's a phenomenal aircraft. You know, most of the fleet of both companies are really, I mean, look at the Dreamliner, spectacular airliner, really. The numbers on, I mean, the 737 is the most successful plane ever sold, and there's about 5 or 6, there's 4,000 or 5,000 orders right now for the MAX. I mean, orders, and there's a 10-year backlog. I mean, it's just amazing. The airline industry, or the aircraft industry, is in tremendous shape and likely to stay so for a long time, because as we get closer to hypersonic transport, eventually a lot of these planes will be rendered obsolete. And it's like the cars they make today. I mean, the cars they make today are just fantastic compared to anything out there previously, it's a great time to be alive.
Yeah, it really is. Just the things that we take for granted. I mean, flying cars and all this that's one thing, but just the way we communicate. Now, I can have an idea about anything, and it can be on the desk of some executive or production worker in Beijing in seconds, in a nanosecond practically. And that's unparalleled. Now, the last time man created or communicated so freely was at the Tower of Babel. God put a stop to that. So, I don't want to speak ill, but I mean, the advances that we've made are just, I mean, we used to talk on a phone that hung on the wall. I mean, and when it rang, we would answer it without even knowing who was calling. My God, I'm lucky I'm still alive. I mean, think about it. Who would dare answer a phone these days unless we know who's calling? I mean...
Yeah, I mean, the omnipresence and ubiquitousness of all these devices today, and not only that, the enslavement that people are to these devices is just mind-boggling. With what they can do. You've seen about this new thing with the pictures, the Face app.
Yeah, I've seen a few of those where it ages you.
I saw a tweet this morning with all the football, like about 8 footballers aged pictures. People like Neymar and Ronaldo and all that. It's kind of really interesting. It's pretty authentic.
I saw one of my nephew. I didn't want to tell him it doesn't look that much different than the way he looks now, but that would have been mean-spirited. But I'm looking.
Well, you can turn the clock back as well on these.
Oh, you can. Oh, you can make yourself look younger too.
Yeah.
All right. I should try that.
That could work. But anyway, the VIX is picking up again here today, and the market, it's kind of getting a little bit stretched up here. Even Microsoft, which opened several dollars higher this morning on good earnings, made a new all-time high. It's coming off, and quite a few of the high flyers are suffering the same. Google and Facebook and the FANGs are they're off their highs. So, but Boeing and FedEx are very strong today. That's probably a good lead-in for a recovery next week. CMG, Chipotle and Alta and a few other high flyers are coming off a bit today. The miners are generally strong. BHP and Rio very strong today as well. So there could be a bit of a pullback. And look, I think with this, there is a little bit of worry about how this rate cut is going to be, what actual impact it might have on the market. There's always a sense that it could, backfire a bit. But I think the actual fundamentals of the rate cut, given where we are, I mean, it doesn't look as if we're going to go down the tubes just yet, like we did in 2007. But remember, nobody saw the next 2 years coming. So you always have to keep that in the back of your mind, no matter how good, especially when everything's looking so good. And on top of that, these days you've got, the gold running ahead of the markets, obviously being the most powerful sector here now for the last few weeks, been outperforming just about everything. So there's obviously reasons why that's happening, because gold has been unloved for quite a while, and all of a sudden it's become a very hot item. So, and it's by almost any count, it's way undervalued. I mean, if you do the math and you work out the inflation and everything, since 1980, you could easily come up with about a 2880 price for gold, maybe even 3,000, i.e. intrinsic value. When you look at all these insane housing prices, where houses that used to cost, $500,000 or $1 million back in London and places are going for 50 million today or more, it's just crazy. The gold is very undervalued based on these measures, and so is silver. Silver even more so. And nothing stays down forever, and we're seeing signs now of an emerging breakout of monumental proportions, frankly. When you see this kind of very powerful activity, look, right now we're only going up and down $20-$30 a day, which is in of itself pretty unusual for gold, right? You can count on two hands, the number of days we've gone up more than $30 in our lifetime. So, and that's happened, quite a few times in the last few weeks. So there's something pretty big going on. I don't think it's going to be long before we have $50 moves in gold per day, and I think we'll have $100 moves in gold soon, before too long. Especially if we start getting up into the 2000s, it'll be fairly routine. And obviously great trading opportunities will come from these kinds of moves. So,
this has been a very eventful summer. The old saying, "Sell in May, go away."
Not this year. Not this year. Well, it's been an epic time, and I think that markets are going to be pretty wild for the foreseeable future, frankly, with so much stuff going on. Because with the election coming up, if something goes bad temporarily, perhaps, for the Trump campaign, that could cause a big correction. Then if they get back on track, then it'll cause a huge rally, and I think there's a possibility that things like that could happen between now and 2020. If this third-party candidate, what if this guy Schwartz, the coffee guy, decides to run as an independent?
Schultz.
Schultz. That'll rock the markets, I'll tell you. If you get a third-party candidate in, it'll knock the markets down.
It's so funny. The other team, they've been protesting in front of Starbucks because they don't like this Howard Schultz guy. He doesn't work there anymore. He doesn't work there anymore. Oh, well. That's pretty funny. All right.
Yeah.
What else you want to talk about?
Just that the grains, really are, they keep coming from behind.
Yeah, let's look at them.
Another sign of a possible, very big move. I think actually, if you look at the charts now on the grains, and by the way, on the rice too, they all look like they could be heading for another big leg up from right about from here, actually.
Yeah, this is soybeans on a 30-minute. So, 50% retracement would bring us, 38 would bring us back to this swing high right here. So that's reasonable. A drop to 912, which just could potentially be the beginning of another leg to the upside. Or this little swing high, which is, so a pullback into this area here, create an opportunity for us to consider going long. Now,
can you put that on a daily and weekly, just see what it looks like?
Yeah, let's do that. Here comes daily. Okay.
I think that looks very bullish. It kind of looks like silver a few days ago, remember, before this last run up.
Mm-hmm.
And remember, when you get into a commodities type of boom, the CRB, which we looked at a while ago, is probably taken off to the upside already. And what happens with the commodities boom is they start egging each other on, if you like, right? The soybean looks at the gold going up and decides maybe, this CRB, I don't know.
Is this the right CRB?
No, there's a lot of them out there. This one looks weird, but
yeah,
it may represent.
We can never determine if we actually had the right one. CR. CFRB. What else? There's this one. Oh yeah, there's quite a few. Maybe, oh, look at this one. Yeah, looks about the same.
Yeah. Well, that's maybe the day the CRB breaks 1560 will be, you get a runaway move in that one of these days. So.
Well, there's a different look.
Yeah.
Look at that. Oh, what's going on with this thing? Yeah, anyway.
So, it's the market's probably going to be in more of a holding pattern here for the next few days, and then I think it's going to heat up as we get in towards the end of the month.
Yeah, let's see what we've got coming up for news next week. Where is my...
That's a really dynamic looking structure. That I'll tell you, that things look like it's ready to go.
The soybeans?
Yeah.
I'm just waiting for my news.
When you get this sort of, you got a fantastic reversal down the bottom, and then you've got this sort of first flag consolidation, which had a double breakaway gap up, and then this, when you get a larger consolidation, expanding consolidation, it's telling you the next move is going to be exponentially bigger than the last move. So if we went from 880 to 40, so this next move could be about $1. About $1 higher, take it up to 1,050.
We have no high impact news on Monday. Tuesday, we have existing home sales due out at 10 a.m. That's the only high impact we have for Tuesday. Wednesday, we have new home sales 10 a.m. and then we have crude oil inventories. Wow, that's 3 high impact news events, and we're already up through Wednesday of next week. What a light week for news. On Thursday, we have core durable goods. That's high impact. My goodness. And then on Friday, we have GDP. It's out at 8:30 a.m. Eastern next Friday.
That could be pretty important, the GDP number.
And that's it. That's all the high impact news we have for the entire week next week. That seems unusual, but that's what the calendar says. So we'll have to rely on the president to tweet us out some volatility. He's real good at that.
Yeah. Yeah, he's been tweeting. I think his tweet rate hit an all-time high this last week. A lot of it was hard to keep up with some of the tweets that were coming out. Well, listen, have a great weekend. Thanks very much for the invite. And,
thank you. Enjoyed it very much.
Next week.
And
all the best.
Talk to you then.
Will do. Thanks.
All right. Bye-bye. All right, guys. It is Friday, and I know everybody's been working for the weekend. And I got to go. So let's go to the good word for the day. If you got a question.
Wait, 1 minute. I just thought I'd bring this up if you have time.
Yeah.
Did you know that there's been a kind of a change in the way Twitter displays?
No, I was on Twitter yesterday. Let me look. What's going on?
It might not be with you, but it's happened to me. And I think it's a system-wide change. You don't have the full picture across the screen anymore, by the looks of it.
Okay, mine still looks like that.
Okay, do something to it because it might change.
Okay. Okay, do that. I don't know. Then I'll click on that.
Maybe I don't know. They changed the thing around. Maybe it's
sometimes they roll it out in increments. So maybe. So what happens now? It doesn't show the header all the way across. Is that
no? It just it's and they've changed. You got a menu down the left hand side now, and you've got and the way the following, that's all changed as well. It doesn't look like that anymore.
Okay, so all right. Well, I'll be looking out for it because it's probably coming.
Yeah.
It'll probably come my way next.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, hey, you got a minute?
Sure.
I already played this for the audience, but I kind of like it, so I'm gonna play it for you as well. Let me shift my audio out to the speakers so you can hear it. Okay. And here we go.
In a world where 9 out of 10 traders fail, blow up their accounts and ultimately disappear from the trading floor altogether, I have good news. In a land not so far away, 2 men and a lady are working around the clock to change the lives of retail traders forever. I present the CFRN Emini method. Not another gimmick, not another parlor trick. This is the truth about trading. This is your opportunity to step behind the curtain and see once and for all how markets really work. The passion of CFRN is to make sure no one with a true trader's heart is left behind. So convinced they alone hold the key to your future as a trader, they're going to give you their methodology, their E-mini indicators, and 5 days of training for free. It doesn't get any better than this. Go right now, run don't walk, to eminitrainingschool.com and apply, or call 949-42-EMINI. Operators are standing by. Seating is limited. This offer cannot last. You already know, trading's not easy. You're about to learn. It can be simple. Learn today how markets work. Or blow up another account using methods that simply don't work. 949-42-EMINI, while you still have the time. Run don't walk to eminitrainingschool.com and apply right now. Remember, the truth shall set you free. CFRN, the truth about trading, since 2005.
I like that.
Why you still have the time or the money?
Yeah, right.
The money.
Dive in treasure. Dive in treasure.
Who's it? Where'd you find the Brit? Is it a Brit?
Oh, yeah, it's just a guy, though. Yeah.
Okay.
He does voiceovers.
Okay. Sounds a little bit Darth Vaderish.
Yeah, that's how it's supposed to sound, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to lay on an apocalyptic video clip. So, okie doke. Well, have a great weekend. I'll see you next week. All right.
Okay, all the best. Bye-bye.
Bye. All right, guys, good word for the day. I got to go. And I'm sure you got to go too. Well, that works out, right? Yesterday, we talked about staying focused. Let's stay on that theme. Part 2. Nehemiah 6:3. I am carrying on a great project and cannot go down. When it came to rebuilding the walls of Jerusalem, Nehemiah discovered that not everyone around him wanted to succeed. Now think about that. You're always trying to help people. But do they want help? The one guy lying on the mat by the beautiful pool, Jesus asked him, do you want to get better? That's a really important part of that equation. Do you want to get better? And in this case, Nehemiah discovered that not everyone around him wanted to succeed. To stop the work, his enemies used 2 things, threats and rumors. Nevertheless, he rebuilt the walls of Jerusalem in less than 2 months. How did he do it? He stayed focused on what mattered and refused to be distracted. Kind of like Trump. They were scheming to harm him. This is Nehemiah 6:2. They were scheming to harm me, so I sent messengers to them with this reply. I am carrying on a great project and cannot go down. Why should the work stop while I leave it and go down to you? 4 times they sent me the same message, and each time I gave them the same answer. He was focused. In the language of today, they emailed him, they tagged him in tweets, they left messages on his mobile phone. Over and over, they tried to distract and detour him with dialogue, but he refused to fight. His voicemail greeting would have sounded maybe something a little like this. You've reached the home of Nehemiah. I'm not here. I'm carrying on a great project right now. If this is Sanballat, Tobiah, or Geshem, you're wasting your time. If it's anybody else, please leave a message after the beep. Beep. When you decide what your life's priorities are, they will help you decide everything else. They will help you keep your eye on the ball. When life seems to be against you, ask yourself, what are my biggest priorities for this day, for this week? Settle those in your mind and be laser beam focused as you pursue the assignment God has given you. Head down, shoulder to the wheel, press on, press in, keep going. God has a purpose for each and every one of us, and together we're going to live it out. That's a good word for the day. Thanks so much for tuning in. Whoever you are, wherever you are, may God continue to richly bless you with His mercy and with His grace. And I'll see you at the bell. Hey, can I get some awkward silence over here? Yeah, just insert it right here. Yeah, perfect.
Remember this, there is no greater return on investment than see a human life changed and given hope. As always, pray hard and trade safe. Any financial information discussed on this show is simply the opinion of our host, Dwayne Reeves, his co-hosts, and guests. To learn more about trading Emini Futures or to take a 1-week free trial in our live trading room, call 1-866-928-3310. 866-928-3310. Information discussed on this radio program should not be construed as a recommendation to buy or sell any security. Always do your own due diligence and consult with a licensed securities broker or financial planner before making any investment decision.